Russian Emperor.
Russian Emperor looking for his second Group 1 of this season after that brilliant performance to take the Gold Cup last time out. I'm pleased to say his connections are joining us now. Trainer Douglas White, jockey Blake Shin, and owner Mike Chung as well. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time today. Douglas, maybe start with you, just generally about Russian Emperor heading into the weekend. Are you happy how he's been over these last couple of weeks since his last one? Because it was noted he pulled up a little bit short after his last start.
Yeah, he did. He pulled up a bit sore behind. It was nothing of any significance. I was concerned to start with, but he went through all the procedures, the necessary procedures. I sent him for a bone scan. He's too good a horse to ruin. So once that all came back negative, we found that he had tweaked a muscle out the gates, probably out the gates, I should say. We've been dealing with that accordingly, and I've been on him pretty much every day since then, and I'm happy with him. He's in as good a form as when he won the Gold Cup.
Yeah, which of course was over the 2,000 metres. You get back to that trip now on the weekend. Last time over the mile, nice prep run. This really is his pet distance, isn't it? The mile and the quarter.
I think at the moment it is. I would dare to say that with time he would get 2,400, probably beyond. When we tried that with him last season, he had probably come to the end of his preparation. He wasn't in the same rich vein of form that he is at the moment, and he wasn't enjoying his racing the way he is at the moment. So I've learned a lot about the horse. He's acclimatized very well to the conditions of Hong Kong, but first and foremost, he's accepting the track conditions. And there's only one person to thank for that. It's Mike and Elaine. They've given me the time, the patience that the horses needed, and they've seen the rewards now, which I'm very grateful for.
Well, it's probably a good time to bring Mike in then.
Hello 啊，咁啊今日咧又好開心咧，請到啦馬主 Mike 咧都喺度同我哋傾下偈啊！你好啊，
好，你好。
咁啊今個禮拜又好開心啦，因為馬主都可以入翻場嘞喎，你自己係咪都好期待呢場賽事？
當然啦。
因為上次啦，即係金杯啦，佢大勝啦，咁啊當時其實都證明咗啦，佢喺一級賽嘅實力啦。但係我知道當日嘅場地啦就黏黏地，你覺得係咪都有啲關鍵呢？
我諗將王係一匹歐洲馬，咁佢一定係識跑呢個變化嘅落雨嘅天氣嘅地嘅，係。咁但係嗰場馬我諗最重要嘅人咧，咁比較容易係因為嗰場嘅際遇比較好咯。
即係你都覺得場地有幫助，但係主要都係
幫助嘅。
咁如果嚟緊禮拜日落雨就好好喎，更加。係咪啊？
好似係落。
係啊，好似真係會落雨啊！你會唔會都有啲即係更加大信心咧？
咁我又平常心咯。咁如果真係落雨就落雨咯，但係亦都可能我個對手都好識得跑變化地咧，係咪？咁個落馬勇士都係歐洲馬嚟噶嘛，係咪
？Because I was asking Mike, last time Russian Emperor did a really great run in the Gold Cup, and apparently that day the weather and the track might have helped him, and he thought so too. But he thinks that maybe the major opponents in the coming Sunday they can also handle that track. So let's hope and see what's going to happen.
All right. Have you checked the weather forecast already, Doug?
I have. There's between a 30 and 40% of chance of rain, and let's hope that percentage increases as the weekend gets closer.
Excellent. Blake, he was brilliant that day. You've only had quite a short association with this horse, but that must have been a fantastic feeling to win the way he did, because he's always looked like he'd been building to something like that.
Yes, definitely. Yes, it was a great thrill. We lowered the colours of an absolute champion in Hong Kong, Golden 60, and going into the race, I was of the belief that we could do it. It's just had to execute, a ride that, that give Russian Emperor the best chance to be able to beat Golden 60, and to achieve something pretty special like that was one of the highlights of my career, I feel, and it was such a big buzz, and Russian Emperor has been a good horse to me. Every time I've ridden him, he's stepped out and ran a great race. And I'm excited to get back on him again on the weekend. He's back to his best distance, and I think, as Douglas said, he's in good form. And I believe he's a class runner of the field. And if everything goes well, hopefully his class will prevail.
We've got some local and international media partners listening in as well, and some questions coming through. This one, Blake, I'll pose to you, maybe come to Douglas afterwards, but from Sam Agars at the SCMP, Russian Emperor out of gate 5, so we're talking tactics here. He had the same draw when he travelled quite handy and nearly won the Derby. I know you weren't on for that, Blake, but what have your initial conversations and your thoughts about where he's drawn for the weekend?
Look, the barrier's great. I haven't spoken to Douglas yet. We'll analyse the field and, do what we do and study pretty hard. I can't say exactly how I'm going to ride him. I've rode him pretty similar his last couple of starts. And I don't think we'll change too much. We'll ride the race as we see it. I can't give a definitive answer just yet. That's where I stand on that point.
One of your main rivals, maybe Douglas, is drawn right inside you, Romantic Warrior, who was this year's Derby winner. So we've got this year's Derby winner. You were obviously runner-up last year. How do you see a horse like that coming into the race? He obviously needs to lift again, but these 4 years are quite capable of that. But do you see him as one of your main dangers, Romantic Warrior?
He looks the main danger. He's done nothing wrong. He's a Derby winner, and any horse that can win a Group 1, even a 4-year-old series, he's won 2 of them, and he ran second in the second one. So he's clearly a champion in the making, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. However, it's probably not the best form line from a Derby's perspective going into the QE2 Cup. But I would say he's going to be the main danger.
Yeah, there's an elite band of horses that have managed to complete that double. While I've got you, Douglas, as well, a question here from Rob Burnett from Thoroughbred News, maybe to Blake as well. Looking past the weekend, were he to be successful, would you consider, I'm assuming possibly this year or next, an international trip, maybe to Japan, or even taking him back to the UK, where he's run at Royal Ascot's in the past?
It would be an absolute dream of mine to travel with him. I think both mentally, physically, he's the right horse to do that with. He's got a great temperament. He doesn't worry about too much. He, again, in both those jurisdictions, you're going to get great underfoot conditions. He's going to get his toe in, which he loves to. And I suppose it's all going to depend on whether travel is going to happen next year or next season. If it does, I'll be sitting down with both Mike and Elaine and discussing future prospects and possible ventures overseas with him.
Blake, you've obviously ridden a lot of top-class horses here and in Australia as well. Does he feel to you like he's an international Group 1 horse as well?
He does, definitely, yes. The closest thing I can compare him to, I ran second in the Cox Plate behind Winks, right, on a horse called Humidor. And when I won on Russian Emperor in the Hong Kong Cup, I produced kind of a similar ride. It was at the same distance, 2,000 metres, and as I did in the Cox Plate on Humidor. And Russian Emperor's a similar style of horse to Humidor. He goes well at 1,600, 2,000. I believe Russian Emperor can do well at 2,400. He's got a lot of class. He'd be competitive in those big races in Australia, anywhere from 16 to 2,400. He's got form around the Japanese horses, obviously, in the international race in December. And given those form lines and the strength of those form lines, he would be competitive anywhere in the world.
Very positive then, Sabrina, from trainer and jockey. Does Mike, though, the owner, have any ambition to travel overseas as well?
係啦，我都想問下啦，馬主，因為我哋頭先都同練馬師、騎師都講過，其實佢哋都覺得啦，可以帶即係同阿象王咧去遠征啦，甚至可能去翻英國都可以。你自己又覺得點咧？
我覺得如果偉達覺得可以嘅，我覺得冇乜所謂嘅。
即係你就交俾練馬師決定嘅。
係啦，佢決定可以去咪去咯。
但係如果你自己即係有冇諗過養一隻馬，如果可以同佢一齊攜手喺外地贏大賽，會唔會更加深刻啊？
咁啊，當然會啦。
即係交俾佢哋啦。
交俾佢哋啦。
Okay, decision will be made by Doug. Okay.
Okay. We'll get the weekend out of the way first. Douglas, going back, this horse arrived with quite a big reputation, and obviously it was a huge run in the Derby as well. Just generally speaking, obviously a huge relief to get that with that Group 1 win. When you approach these races, is the pressure different, and do you handle it differently to when you were riding in the big races as well, now that you're a trainer?
The pressure is certainly different. I don't handle it any different. I do what I can. I tick all the boxes and dot all the I's and cross all the T's, and once my work's done and the horse is in the best possible condition leading into the race, there's nothing more that I can do, then my biggest problem is when I leg the jockey up, I'm out of control. It's the jockey that's then, it's up to him to make the decisions, and when the gates open, he's in total control. He's got the reins and he's got to make decisions, and those decisions are the decisions that win and lose you Group 1 races. And I've been in that position before, and I know the kind of pressure that it entails to ride horses like this, especially when the horse now becomes a public figure in Hong Kong. And he's been a bit unlucky. He ran second in the Derby, and he didn't train on after the Derby. And fortunately, I've been given the time, and the horse has appreciated that, and he's come back and bounced back to the horse that we've always expected of him. So, yes, there's pressure, but when you've got the individual underneath you and you know that he can do it, and you've got a guy like Blake on that's a proper Group 1 rider. I mean, his ride in the Gold Cup indicated that, he simply made a decision that I would say percentage-wise, 8 out of 10 jockeys would go for the softer option and go out, get clear running. You have Golden 60 behind you. He's got to come wider and around you. But no, he didn't. He cut the corner. He saw an opportunity. He knows the horse handles the ground. And we probably pinched, give or take, 5-6 lengths cutting that corner and doing what he did. And in doing that, it just made it totally impossible for a horse even as good as Golden 60 to make up that amount of ground on a track with those conditions. So, that's where it boils down to the guy on top having the confidence in the horse and riding with his head.
And as just going on from that, Blake, I suppose you obviously you go into the race with a plan, but these things have to be fluid and changing. How much conscious thought as a jockey is there as the race develops? Is it all just instinctive to see a gap, to make the move, and to trust the horse that he's good enough, and that things will fall right for you when you get to the straight or the moment of truth?
Look, I think it all happens subconsciously, but it's all your preparation and your planning in the lead up to the race that allows you to make those decisions. So you constantly churn over different scenarios and do the form extensively. And I like to think I do it very thoroughly. And you have plan A to plan Z in your mind, and then when the barriers open, you kind of let yourself just be free and just ride the horse, and all the scenarios that you envisage in your mind, you just see it unfolding. And if one doesn't happen, or if the one you actually think might happen does or it doesn't, you can just adapt because you've already thought about it. So that's the best way I can put it. And then just trusting your animal and knowing where he's comfortable and just riding him to suit him. And that's just the best way I can explain it.
And do you see, we talked about Romantic Morio before, do you see him as one of, if not the main danger to you on the weekend?
He's definitely a danger. I respect him. He's obviously a Derby winner. I respect Cheerful Days. He was unlucky in his last run, and if he got through, well, I know we had £5 more than him last time, but if he got that run at the 300, well, he could have been vying out second place. And now he's got Zach on, and he's up to 2,000 metres. He's got to be well respected. And Columbus County and Tourbillon Diamond, they're a couple of dark horses. So look, it's not going to be an easy race. I respect them all, but again, my horse is proven, and he's beaten them before. It's just a matter of giving him a trouble-free ride and riding him with the utmost confidence. And if things go smoothly, well, I believe he'll win the race.
Excellent, good stuff. Final shout out to anyone with a question to send them through on the chat room, because I think we're almost done. Douglas, while I've got you though, I know we're here to talk about Russian Emperor, but Stronger, you happy with him heading into the sprint?
Yeah, I am. I think he had a few excuses last time. He's been a bridesmaid, albeit he's had a few excuses, but the horse remains in a rich form of health, and he's trained on. He's still a colt, but you wouldn't say so. He's a well-mannered, and he's got a great temperament. But yeah, he doesn't get the best of draws, this horse, and he has to create his own luck. But having said that, the horse is healthy.
Yeah, barrier 7 we got on Sunday. Best of luck with him. Sabrina, we might leave Mike to have the final word here. I'm sure he's looking forward to getting back to the races on the weekend.
咁啊 ，Mike， 你覺得禮拜日係咪都係視浪漫勇士為最主要嘅對手咧？
都係。
都係。咁啊，你自己
因為記得你已經對賽過啦嘛。
係都對賽過啦，即係都覺得係呢一匹啦。
係啦。
咁你信心大唔大啊？
有啲信心啦，但係都係跑過先知。
跑過先知啊！咁啊喺度都祝你好運啊 ！Good luck to everyone. Good luck to Mike. Good luck to Doug. Good luck to Blake.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, guys.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Very best of luck on the weekend.